Well, hey guys, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It's great to be with you on, yes, inspirations for your life. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Great to have you. Welcome. It is Monday, February 24th. Thank you so much for joining. Our granular topic for the week, ladies and gentlemen, is inspiring journeys of growth and renewal. That's our master for the week. But our show topic today, the granular topic is a really good one. This one is entitled, ladies and gentlemen, you ready for it? Lessons from Life's Turning Points, Series 9, and we're on episode number 3. So, welcome, everyone. Welcome to Inspirations for Your Life. I'm your host, John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. I'm not only a podcast host, but I'm also a podcast coach. Life is full of unexpected twists and turns. Some are exhilarating, some are challenging, but all are filled with lessons that shape who we become. Have you ever faced a moment where everything changed in an instant? These pivotal moments, known as life's turning points, have the power to redefine our paths, strengthen our resilience, and push us toward growth. In this episode, we'll uncover the hidden wisdom within life's most defining moments and how we could transform challenges into stepping stones for success. Hosted by myself, as you know, it's great to have you here. And get ready because we're on a big journey of self discovery, resilience, and transformation. Number one, understanding life's turning points. Yes, understanding life's turning points. So, number one is understanding life's turning points. Turning points are those critical moments that force us to pause, reflect, and often take a new direction, whether it's a career shift, personal loss, or an unexpected opportunity. These moments challenge our comfort zones and open doors to new possibilities. Understanding the significance of these transitions allows us to embrace them rather than fear them. Instead of resisting change, what if we saw these moments as life's way of guiding us toward our greater purpose? Hmm, there's an interesting thing, right? Um, so number two, how unexpected um, events shape our growth. Some of the most profound personal growth happens when life doesn't go as planned. Unexpected events, both good and bad, force us to adapt, think differently, and discover strength we never knew we had. These moments teach us resilience, patience, and the art of navigating uncertainty. When faced with the unexpected, our perspective determines whether we thrive or merely survive. The key is learning to trust the journey, even when we can't see the destination. And that's probably very, very important to understand. Let's move on to our next point, which I think is very, very important. We talked about the career shifts, we talked about the unexpected shaping of our growth. How about recognizing opportunities and challenges? Every challenge carries within it an opportunity, whether it's a chance to learn, grow, or pivot in a new direction. When faced with setbacks, it's easy to dwell on the negatives, but those who succeed are the ones who ask, what can I gain from this experience? Adopting this mindset shifts our focus from obstacles to possibilities. The greatest breakthroughs often emerge from moments of struggle, and recognizing opportunities in adversity is a skill that we have to learn that sets successful individuals apart. So I think that's a very important thing, ladies and gentlemen, and hopefully you'll appreciate that. Number four, the power of perspective in difficult moments. So perspective is everything. Two people can experience the same situation, yet their interpretations can be vastly different. Like if I look at a six one way, it's a six. If I look at it from another angle, it's a nine. A setback can either be seen as a failure or as a stepping stone to something greater. By shifting our mindset from why this is happening to me to what can this teach me, we take control of our narrative. When we choose to view challenges as opportunities for growth rather than roadblocks, we unlock our ability to thrive in any situation. Resilience. Now, we've talked about resilience many, many times, my friend, but we're going to talk about it again. So, resilience is not the fact that you fall, it's the ability to bounce back from setbacks, right? We've talked about this in the fighting rink. When Rocky gets knocked down, it's not that he got knocked down, it's that he keeps getting back up. Resilience isn't about avoiding hardships. Let me be clear about that. It's about how we respond to them. Life will inevitably throw us curveballs, but our ability to bounce back determines our long term success. Developing resilience means cultivating a mindset that embraces setbacks as lessons, not failures. It's about getting up one more time than we fall, learning from our mistakes and coming back stronger. The most successful people aren't those who never fail, but those who never give up. Let me say that again. The most successful people aren't those who never fail, but those who never give up. The most successful people aren't those who never fail, but those who never give up. All right. So there you have it. Number 6, embracing change is a path to renewal. Change can be intimidating, but it's also a powerful tool for reinvention. When we resist change, we remain stuck in outdated patterns. However, we embrace it, we open ourselves to new possibilities. Whether it's a career shift, a new relationship, or a change in mindset, every transition is an opportunity for renewal. Instead of clinging to the past, let's lean into the future with curiosity and excitement. I think that's a very, very important one, and hopefully, you can understand and you can appreciate that embracing change. It's a path for a renewal, right? Again, it can be that career shift, it can be a relationship shift, it can be a change in our life, it can be just the way we believe. But embracing change and seeing it as a pathway to a source of renewal is key to our success. Number 7, learning from failures and mistakes. Failure is not the opposite of success. A lot of people might think, oh, gee, if I'm this, I must be. No, no, no. It doesn't mean you're not successful. So success and failure are not opposites. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the journey. Some of the greatest achievements in history have come from people who failed multiple times. Let's take Mr. Thomas Edison. What is it? He did 999,000 ways that it would not work before he found the one way that did work. Some of the greatest achievements in history have come from people who failed multiple times before they succeeded. Like I said, Thomas Edison, Alpha Edison. Instead of fearing failure, we should see it as feedback. Each mistake teaches us something valuable and gets us one step closer to our goals. The only true failure is the failure to try. Let me say that again. The only true failure is the failure to try. Number 8, the role of a support system in life transitions. No one succeeds alone. During life's turning points, having a strong support system can make all the difference. Whether it's friends, family, mentors, or a community, surrounding ourselves with positive influences helps us navigate uncertainty with greater confidence. Support systems provide encouragement, fresh perspectives, and sometimes a much needed reminder that we are not alone. Mindset shifts for navigating uncertainty. Uncertainty can be overwhelming. Let's face it, it can be. But the right mindset makes all the difference. Let me say that again. The right mindset makes all the difference. The right mindset makes all the difference. Okay. So mindset shifts for navigating uncertainty. As I said, it can be overwhelming. Instead of fearing the unknown, we can train ourselves to approach it with curiosity and optimism. A growth mindset is important. One that sees challenges as opportunities and setbacks as lessons allows us to move through uncertainty with confidence. The key is to shift from a fixed mindset of limitation to an expansive mindset of possibilities. I know that's not the easiest thing for a lot of people to understand. I recognize that. But the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about that mindset, right? That mindset. And number 10, turning points as a catalyst for success. Life's most significant turning points often lead to our greatest achievements. Whether it's a career pivot, a personal transformation, or a moment of clarity, these defining moments shape our future. The secret is to embrace them. learn from them, and use them as fuel for growth. Success isn't about avoiding challenges, it's about using them as stepping stones to something else. Remember what I said to you before? I said to you something very important, if you guys remember. I said to you that success, okay, and I also said to you about failure, right? I said to you they are not opposites. So that's probably hard for a lot of people to understand that it is part of the journey, right? When you're in a car and you're using a GPS, you're using the GPS to help you get to your destination, right? So I want to share with you some insights on each one of these. So first of all, understanding life's turning points. Every day we're going to get turning points, and I think that's the ability to help us grow is to see those turning points in our life and recognize them and to take action, inspired action. Unexpected events do shape our growth. They make us fear a little bit, but they help us grow and be stronger. Recognizing opportunities in challenges. Okay. I know that sounds extremely, extremely difficult, ladies and gentlemen, but it is the truth, ladies and gentlemen. It is the truth. All right. When you see something that is challenging, whether it's homework, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a new skill, you grow by having that challenge, by having that adversity, and by overcoming that adversity. I think that is probably one of the most important things, but you have to adopt that special mindset, right? A mindset of growth, not a mindset of lack. We talk about power of perspective, right? We talk about the 6 and the 9. So, why is it some people see a 6 and others see a 9? Well, it's subjective, right? One of the people sees the figure 9 while the other sees the figure 6. Again, it has to do with the relative position to the figure. Nevertheless, there subjectively remains one truth, an absolute. Again, is it a 6 or is it a 9? I think this confuses a lot of people. Of course, you can tell with the line on the top or the line on the bottom, and also by the positioning of where it is. Maybe it's next to something in an order. Um, and so there's always this struggle that's been going on for years. It's the eternal struggle of the 6 and the 9. And the one person says just because you are right does not mean I'm wrong, right? That's the common one. We want to cross that out. One of the people is wrong. Someone painted a 6 or a 9. They need to back up or orient themselves, see if there are any other numbers to align with. Maybe there's a driveway or a building to face, or they can ask someone who actually knows. Like if it's in a range, right? People having an uninformed opinion about something they don't understand and proclaim their opinion as being fact is what causes issues. So I think we take things out of context, right? So where do we see numbers? So we see numbers on a scale, we see numbers on a ruler, we see numbers on a tape measure, we see numbers on a telephone, on our iPhone, right? We see numbers on thermostat, right? And if we knew that the number just before it was 8 and we hit up 1, then that's 9. That's important. So I always like to give you a very interesting story, okay, which I will in a minute. Resilience is so important. I know you're probably saying, John, I'm tired and I can't be resilient anymore. I just can't. I can't. And that's when you need to just take a break. Take a break. That is very, very, very important. And knowing that some of your most hardest struggles is when some of the best learning happens in your life. I know that sounds tricky too, but it's absolutely the truth. Okay. Um, that can be hard. So I want to tell you about a story and how a story changed my thoughts about something. So, being on the road, always being a good driver, driving within the speed limit, give or take a couple, like if it's 65, 66, 67, but be 50, or like 63, 62, being in that range. And to me, speeding is not something that's important. Just staying in that speed zone, that allowed zone. Well, today I had something very interesting happen to me. I was on a highway, and so whenever somebody just cuts me off, um, you know, the thing is, it concerns me because it's a safety hazard, right? Especially if they're on the cell phone or something like that. So today I was on the road, and this guy in a truck, like a pickup truck, he just pulled right over, kind of cut me off. So, I don't get angry. I usually just tap the light saying, "Hey, buddy." So right away, he floods his lights, right? In an effort to basically say, a superlative, which is what he's trying to mean, like holding a middle finger up or something like that. And so I don't take his bait. Okay. People like this have a problem. I'm just trying to politely let him know, hey, you cut me off, something, but there's some people that can go as far as to harm you. This guy, I'll call him a gentleman, but that's not really what he was. He was a pickup truck driver, and he was probably going to work or whatever. And so he basically decided to flood his lights. And so he flooded his lights. So I just changed lanes because I wanted to get away from him, and not even noticing it, but I happened to be passing a little bit. Well, as soon as I do that, he hits the horn, blasts his lights again. Okay. And now he gets there to try to cut me off and try to slow me down. So again, just trying to I really just want to get out of the drama. So I move lanes again. And so he just kind of tries to cut me off again. So I was like, this is just getting crazy. I don't want this to turn to any road rage. Obviously, this guy has got some kind of a mental and physical problem. I just want to get away from it. In fact, part of me was getting ready to call the cops because I felt very unsafe. My heart was starting to race a little bit. Again, I wasn't doing anything wrong, but he was really starting to create like a road rage. I mean, he was like cutting me off. And so finally, I let him pass me. But then there was a point where I'm driving, and I guess I must have happened to pass him because he was behind someone. That got him annoyed. He cut off somebody, cut me off again. Then he slows down and flashes his lights. And I just look at him, and he's like, something's wrong with him. And so, obviously, I'm not happy with this. So now he tails me, okay? Which is when the car's just almost on your bumper. And I was actually on my way to church this morning, as I read on Monday mornings. And I was just like, what am I going to do with this guy? I said, let me try to make a turn. Let me see if he follows. So I was at one of the exits before I was going to get off, and I made a right-hand turn. I was actually putting my blinker on to make a right-hand turn. Guess what he does? He puts his right-hand blinker to make a turn. As soon as I start to turn, I turn my blinker off, and I change my mind. I go straight, and then I decide to do that again. And there was another exit. I think there were like two exits before my exit. And so I did that again. And now he's a little bit annoyed at this. So now you know what he does after I do that? He takes his blinker off, and he goes past me like 100 miles an hour. So that's a problem. What did I learn from that? I learned there's some pretty messed up people on the road. And I learned that, if something like that happens again, where I tap the lights and they're being rude, just let the guy pass you. Let him pass you, and just don't try, but make sure you don't pass him because they might have a road rage condition. And get off at the next exit, even if you don't have to. I thought this morning was very interesting because he obviously had some kind of a problem. So, why do people have road rage? Let's talk about that for a moment. Stress from daily life, poor anger management, feeling lack of control behind the wheel. Maybe they're triggered by perceived aggressive driving behavior in motorists, but when they start it, right, that's the problem. So as stress increases, the likelihood of a person exhibiting road rage increases dramatically. Um, People may exhibit road rage for many reasons: being in a hurry, feeling threatened, feeling frustrated with other drivers, or feeling a sense of entitlement. It says to me that even though I left early in the morning, I need to leave earlier so I could have taken even a 10 or 15-minute detour out of my way. And as I realized this, I probably should have got off 3 or 4 exits before I needed to get off. So when he started doing that, I should have just basically when he did that, I should have just you know, I didn't really do anything, but I was just, I was a little annoyed, but I didn't even try to pass him. But I guess I had passed him just doing the speed limit, and that made him annoyed. So I guess when that happens, just if they get crazy, just let them throw their tamper tantrum. Let them get away from you. Okay, that's the most important thing. But the fact that he was slowing down, uh, that was a problem. That was a real problem. So I guess it could be something as simple as just pulling off at the next exit. Okay. And then if the person turns off, make a few other turns. One of my favorite things that I've done, this happened to me many years ago. I had somebody tailgating me, and it was at night. It was actually when I lived in another town. And I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull into the police station. It's like 11 o'clock at 10, 11 o'clock at night. I pulled right into the police station parking lot. Soon as I did that, he was about to pull in, and then he noticed where I was pulling, and he just drove right through it. So we're not here to try to analyze them or psychoanalyze them, but I thought it was just very rude. But the main cause of road rage can be the outcome of pre-existing or poorly handled stress or anger issues in some circumstances. There are factors such as losing your job or personal family catastrophic disease that causes it. Lots of reasons. And so, is road rage a psychological disorder? Well, it is. It's when individual experiences heightened levels of stress, anxiety, or hostility because of their driving environment. Is road rage immature? It will engage people in very dangerous, aggressive behavior that can make them so enraged just to get their point across. Their behavior is equally selfish, immature, and dangerous. So road rage isn't something only young people on the edge do. It's issues with serious anger management people and problems of all ages. So road rage is a red flag. Indicates potential underlying anger issues, poor impulse control, and a lack of ability to manage stress. And so, what that taught me, even though I wasn't in road rage, but I was still getting like the effects of it, I realized that I need to control myself better, even though I wasn't doing road rage. I was still being part of this pawn. So I decided that I would just, in the future, if that happens, yeah, tap the lights to let people know, hey, you cut me off. And the only reason I did it is because when they change into my lane, if they want to do it in their own lane, that's fine. But when they cut me off, that can potentially cause a serious issue, right? And so I just like, hey, you just changed lanes. So when I did that, all they would have had to do was acknowledge with maybe a simple light tap. A simple light tap would mean, okay, like, okay, I got it. Or when they make a change next, they make a left lane or a right lane change. That lets you know that they're acknowledging that and they're sorry. But when somebody jams their brakes, that's a superlative of a curse word, is the way I would think of it, because somebody that's doing that. And so my point was, you know, was I acting in road rage by making turns? No, I was just trying to get to safety. And so, like I said, I was so close to calling the cops that I didn't know what was the best thing to do. Now, I had to be somewhere in the morning, but I normally would have just kept making turns. So I made one turn, I stopped, I made another turn, And he obviously saw that I was just going to try to jerk him around. Um, and he didn't like that. I think what he was hoping is that I was going to turn somewhere. He was going to turn there. He was going to get out and then he was going to yell or who knows what he was going to do. But I could tell you something. When that happens, okay, and somebody's pulling, do not get out of the car. It's best to call the police or to pull in somewhere, drive around until they cool down because you don't know what they're going to do. You do not know what they're going to do. Um, that is probably something that person does every single day. And I was hoping that the simple tap was said, "Hey, dude, you cut me off. That's not a good thing to do." And so maybe the lesson that I learned today from the turning point is that when other people do cut me off, it's okay to let them know. But the most important thing to do is not pass them. Even if I'm going below the speed limit, do not pass them because these people that are passive aggressive take that as a signal that you want to race them or you want to fight them. And I don't. But today I learned that when you pass a car that's even at the speed limit or below the speed limit, you're basically edging them on, which I didn't know I was doing. And so I hope that this little tip, if anybody out there does this, or maybe somebody does it to you, first of all, do obey all traffic signs, yields, stop signs, and things like that. I know when I'm at a stop sign, somebody goes through the stop sign, I just hit the horn. You know, um, on the road, could I have hit the horn? Yeah, but I thought the light was gonna be a little bit politer. Maybe I should have hit the horn. Maybe that might have been the best thing to do because then other people around me would have also been aware of it. So I think the situation this morning was something that, first of all, it raised my heart a little bit, which that rarely happens. So it's all small stuff. And if I get somebody like this again, just let it go. Let it go. It wasn't worth that 5 minutes of aggravation, even though I didn't even want to be part of it. It's like I got drawn in. So, how do we not have that happen to us? Very simple. One, if somebody does that, you tap the lights and they're rude to you, just let them go. Just let them go ahead of you. All right. If they're going slow, let them go ahead of you and figure out where you can make the next turn to get off that road and get away from them. That's the best thing I could tell you. What do you do if somebody gets on a cell phone? Well, you can hit the horn on them, but don't get into road rage. That's the most important thing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. Do check out BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. And I'll catch you guys real soon. Thanks so much. Remember, life's turning points might just be the ticket to your success that you've been waiting for.